Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to a kind of league discussion video that we generally do at the beginning-ish of every single season or just before. And that is going to be kind of what my champion pool is going to be looking like at the beginning, at least, of Season 11. So the footage that will be on the background was from a game the other day, playing Ahri. And as you'll probably see, it was a pretty stompy game. And it was... Sometimes, and I've always said, sometimes it's not worth uploading a video when it's a loss because it's too stompy, but it also goes the other way. Sometimes the win is too stompy and it's not really worth uploading as well. But this video, we're basically just going to chat, and I'm going to give you an idea of what champions I'm going to be playing, and also in the comment section, you can do one of two things. One, you can tell me what you're going to be looking to play at the beginning of the season at least, and secondly, you can let me know about the champions that I've kind of picked so far. And I've always said my phrase, my champion pool is what I call a living champion pool. Some people get annoyed that I call it that, but the reason why is it's not 100% locked in. Like, it's locked in to a certain extent, but like some people will pick a champion pool or they have their champions and they will play the whole season. I can't really do that. As you all know, I get a little bit bored. So when I do fall off the kind of hype wagon, as it were, with the champion, I just really don't want to play it anymore. So that's why I say that these champions at they're starting out for at least the first few weeks, and hopefully, as I've always said at the beginning of the season, you can do one of two things. You either can play, I would say, a lot of League of Legends in solo queue and ranked and hope you really climb quick, because that's like at the beginning of a season, MMR and everything gets inflated slightly because they're trying to separate the player base back into ranks. So if you do well in the early season, you climb really fast. If you do bad in the early season, it can backfire. Or you can wait about a month. If you wait about at least a month since the beginning of the season, then everybody who wants to play ranked early, they kind of settle in and they kind of get into their rank, the starter rank, so the games don't feel as crazy. Because at the beginning of the season, you could have someone that used to be high diamond in a game with people that were low platinum, and obviously they are very different ratings. So you are risking it the earlier you play. But I'm going to play straight away. I'm going to try and play a lot of games, more than I normally do, that I'll be playing on stream. Very focused, not really commentating, and probably commentating over the footage if it ends up being a good game. But I'm planning to actually play a bit off stream as well. Not an insane amount off stream, maybe 2 or 3 games on average a night off stream, just to help me kind of keep going a little bit quicker. So this is obviously the start to it. So just to announce, I'm going to be maining mid as my main role in the upcoming season, for a couple reasons. One, obviously I do like top, but top lane, as has always been, and it has been at least for the last few years, it's a role that you can do quite well on, but it's rarer to do a carry performance from top lane. That if you win your lane, great, but then you have to be all around the map and making a really big impact, all while your top laner, your opponent, is just probably going to stay and farm. And if your roams don't work out very well, you can return to top lane and your opponent has just caught up everything. So it can be a little bit frustrating. So I want to be in a bit more of a playmaking role. So mid lane, if you can win your lane, that is the primary goal. Win your lane first. It's much easier to make a impact around the map. You're closer to bot lane. You're closer to the dragon. You can also go top lane. You're the central position. So I am going to be maining mid for at least the beginning of the season, with queuing up primarily as mid. My secondary role is actually probably going to jump around a little bit. So I want to play mid, let's say, in 90% of my games, but the games that I don't, and I'm kind of just going to go off feel, really. If I queue as top lane as my secondary role, but I keep getting top lane, not mid, I'll probably jump around to having a different secondary to try and make me have mid lane more. So, like, I will probably, my default will be mid and top, but there'll be occasionally times that I do mid and jungle, or mid and support. And that's another thing to say, is support I'll actually probably be playing a little bit more of this upcoming season. I'm going to use support as my recovery role, like I have been doing here or there, but I have really good performances in support. Like, it's surprising. Like, I can play and again, I don't play supporty supports. I don't play Nami or Soraka and stuff. I play more like Brand and stuff like that. But I do really well, like, because it's a decision-making role. Again, everyone knows when I'm especially streaming, my farm does suffer, but support's not a role. You have to care about farm. It's all about decision making and mechanics. So I actually can have good performances on support, but I'll obviously again be playing the more aggressive supports, or playmaking supports is the way that I'd say it. So yeah, do expect me to play a bit of support, that if I have a bad game, I'm going to jump on a support the next game to try and recover the mental a little bit. And that, before I say the champions, just to also explain my playstyle, you may have noticed I have changed a little bit in preseason. We're playing a lot more aggressive. So this is leading to one of two things. In this preseason, if you've been watching the content, great. You have noticed I have been getting more fed more regularly. And having really good carry performances. We've had a Penta in preseason and stuff. Doing pretty good. Like having really good, solid carry performances. But it's also a two-sided coin when you're playing aggressive. So I'm also occasionally, or more than I used to, having more feeding performances, or like not crazy bad, but like more deaths than I used to have, because a more aggressive playstyle does lend itself to either you do good or you do bad, because you're risking more because you're playing aggressive. But that's the way that I'm going to do it, because even if I do well 55% of the time, and I, do get really fed 55% of the time and do pretty bad 45% of the time, that will still be overall a net positive of climbing, because you're overall going to be doing better in a win rate sense. So that's the plan. So champions for the beginning of the season. Again, this isn't going to be too surprising to a lot of people, to be honest, but to start with my first three champions. Number 1, Anivia. Not surprising. She's in a very strong state right now. Obviously, we'll see if she gets any nerfs upcoming, and that could change things. But I like playing Anivia. She's very strong right now. Even if she gets a little bit nerfed, I think she'll still be fine. But my Anivia, I don't mind saying, is pretty damn good. For someone that has, is pretty rusty at the champion, because I haven't played Anivia for months, I've been doing really well on the 3 or 4 games that we've played recently on her, and I feel very comfortable on the champion. I feel I can carry on it, and I have done. There was several games there that I was the one that I had to win. I had to carry it for my team, and we did. So Anivia is number 1. Number 2, Ahri. Ahri is a champion that I've played throughout the years, and fundamentally, she is a great blind pick. You can play Ahri into anything. You can make her work into different ways, different builds. She's very versatile. Like, you can play her more of a literal hyper pick champion to one-shot people, or you can play her a little bit more utility-based. So she's very versatile, and she's good for that sense, and she's also quite fun to play. Third one at the moment, Velkoz. So again, not too surprising. I've played Steve, as we call him, for literally years, and I've actually felt like I've been getting better at the champion recently, being better with landing my Q into my combo, because a lot of good Velkoz is they won't wait for their Q to land. They'll throw the Q, instantly go for the combo, and they know that their Q is about to hit them as they do the combo, and I've been starting to actually get that and pull that off. So yeah, Velkoz is going to be there. So those are the first 3. Nothing crazy out of the ordinary, I would suspect, for most of you. Moving into a couple more, and I would say those 3 at the moment are going to be my primary mid laners, that you'll see me play those 3 more than most. But I am going to obviously play others. I don't want to make my champion pool insanely large, but there are others. So the next one is Victor. So again, shouldn't be too surprising. He's pretty good at the moment. I enjoy playing him. I've played him, again, for years. So I've always enjoyed Victor. He's strong right now. He's good right now. So Victor is definitely there. Next one, and there's 2 more that I would say are definitely like locked in. Xerath. So Xerath, yes, is making a comeback in my champion pool, but he is definitely going to be a more situational pick. I most likely will never blind pick Xerath. I have better blind picks than him. Ahri, Victor to a certain extent, they are better to blind pick. Xerath can get really countered badly, but he also can counter other champions really well. So he's going to be my situational pick, or if I'm just feeling it. Sometimes, if you may know, I'm on it. Like, I can feel it. I'm going to do great. I'm going to just pop off with skill shots. Boom. Then I'm going to play Xerath, and I'm going to probably do quite well. So Xerath is coming back. And then the final mid lane at the moment, at the beginning of the game, and I will mention something after, but Annie. Annie is officially going in my champion pool, and the reason why I'm mentioning her last is because Annie isn't going to be like a primary pick. Annie, for me, and has been for a while, is either I'm a bit tired. Like maybe, like right now, I will admit I'm a bit tired right now. I just came back from a gym exercise, an outdoor gym exercise in freezing conditions in the rain. So I'm not streaming today because I am tired. But luckily, I don't have to stream today because I have today's live commentary and I've got tomorrow's live commentary already. But there are some days that I don't have that. And even though I've done a really big exercise, I need to make content. That's where Annie will come in. So Annie's really good that if you're a bit tired or you feel like you're not playing your best, or you just don't really want to focus too heavily on, you know, being amazing with farm, because Annie's easy to farm with. You just press your Q and you got your mana back. Annie's really good. She's a playmaking mid laner. Her damage is really high. You can win your 1v1 and you can roam very effectively. And you can win team fights for your team. So Annie is in my pool. Like, you will see me playing Annie. Even though she's a relatively basic champion, she's basic to a certain degree. Like, if you miss your Tibbers, you're screwing yourself over. So you have to land that skill shot Tibbers. So Annie is there, and those are, right now, the starting mages to my champion pool. Some people may say, Huz, there's a gap in your champion pool, and that is true. AD champions. So, what I'm going to be doing over the next few days when I start streaming again tomorrow, I'm actually going to make an attempt to play more AD champions. The reason why I don't default to AD champions is I arguably am more of a strategic player than most players, and I hate when a team is one damage type, like a full AD team comp or a full AP team comp. Obviously, that's a bit rarer. But if you're playing an AD mid and your top lane is a bruiser, your jungle is an assassin, and you've got an AD carrying bot lane with a tank support, I don't love picking an AD champion in mid, because then you are one damage type, and then you can just get countered by the enemy team picking or building armor, or then going, I'm going to pick Rammus and Malphite, and you're like, ah. So that's why I don't default to AD champions anymore. But as I mentioned, all of my champs so far are mages. It is good to have balance. So like I said, I don't like full AP team comps. That might happen. Like, for example, Vladimir top, Fiddlesticks jungle, Ziggs bot lane with a tank support or an AP support, then it will be a good thing to pick an AD mid laner. So it's good just to have the option. And I would say that right now there are 3 champions in my mind, maybe even 4, that I'm going to shortlist. So over the next few days, prepare me to play them. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to stream with them tomorrow. First one, shouldn't be too big of a surprise, Gangplank. So Gangplank mid is viable. I've just never loved the playstyle of it, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to see what I think of it, and I'm going to be like, maybe that will make the cut. Secondly, so that's number 1. Number 2, Jace. Same kind of concept. Jace was the champion that I used to get to master at my peak. One of the biggest champions anyway. And I, again, have never loved him in mid. I prefer him in top, but he is viable in mid. So I'm going to play him in mid over the next couple of days and see what it feels like. And again, I don't mind if the mid laner is like a tiny bit out of meta compared to a average AD mid laner, because I'm really not going to be playing AD mid that much. Like, it's going to be rare for me to pick it. Third, Zed. So this shouldn't be too big of a surprise to some people, because I used to main Zed. I do miss playing the champion. So Zed, I also am going to throw myself on a game with him in the next few days. Because again, we've just got over a week till the season, so I can kind of finalize things over the next few days. So Zed is definitely in contention. And then the final one, and this might be the one that in the comment section people are like, oh, please, Huz, do it. Yasuo. So Yasuo is the 4th one that I am seriously considering, because I actually, and I've always said, I love playing Yasuo. Yasuo is a cool champion. The reason why I've always told people do not play the champion is because he is one of the most inconsistent champions in the game. You will have a game that you're popping off and going nuts, and then you'll have a game that you feed like crazy. The reason why I'm like, in my head, maybe it'll be okay, is because I'm not going to be just maining Yasuo. Like, he's going to be in my champion pool to pull out every now and then. And it's not like, you know, in 10 games of Yasuo, you're going to have 5 fed ones, 5 feeding ones. I might play Yasuo 1 in 20 games. So it'll be maybe okay to do every now and then. And I enjoy playing the champion. And, if, you know, let's not hide behind it. He is a good YouTube champion. People like watching Yasuo videos. So I've also thought about that a little bit too. But that is, at the beginning of the season, everybody, my mid lane, my main role, champion pool. Primarily, like, it has, by the way, seen, or I've experienced anyway, that autofill and all that, it seems that it has calmed down for me at least. In preseason, I have queued up as mid pretty much for 95% of my games, and I would say I've got mid in about 95% of my games. I'm getting autofilled very rarely, even though mid is the most popular role. I'm getting mid. So my bulk and most of my effort is just going to go into my main role. But obviously, me being me, I will have champions in the back that obviously I will play if I am top playing a match or I am supporting a match. So just to kind of go over those, the ones that, you know, you really shouldn't be too surprised about. So in top lane, let's quickly go over top. Again, smaller champion pool because I'm not going to be playing as much top. Shen. Shen is probably going to still be around. I have, if I'm completely honest, got a little bit bored of the champion because I played quite a lot of him last season for me. But as I mentioned, I'm not going to be playing a lot of top, and Shen is a good blind pick. I'm good at Shen. I've had some very good carry performances. I can't argue with that. So Shen will be there. Like, he'll be around. I'll play him from time to time. And you know, even if I haven't played Shen in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm pretty confident I can jump on the champion and still do perfectly fine. Number 2, Gangplank. So yeah, Gangplank is officially making a comeback into my champion pool, but again, in top lane where I'm not going to be playing that much this season. Gangplank's just a comfort pick for me, and he's a fun champion, and I think for my off role, having a fun champion like Gangplank for me is quite important. And then probably I would say finally, and this is where, you know, Darius might be occasionally, like if the enemy team picks Sion, then sure, I might pick Darius because it's just a good counter. That will happen. But as for my like official third pick, Kayle. So Kayle is a champion, again, I've played for years. She's still incredibly strong right now. She, what I would say, is one of the winners from preseason, that with the changes and the items, it's just gone very well for Kayle. And I'm pretty good at the champion. As long as my team don't really feed in the early game, I'm quite confident to do well in the mid to late game. So that is, right now, the basic top lane. 3 main champions, with then occasionally picking other things if it just, the game suits it. Like, you know, the enemy team's full AD. Okay, I'm going to pick Malphite this game because that's just smart to do. And, you know, it's not really that hard to swap on to play Malphite, for example. Then we're going to go into, very briefly, support. So support, I'd actually say, is going to be a little bit, maybe even ahead of jungle for me at the moment. And I'd say when I get onto jungle, I will mention what will bring me back to more jungling. But support, very basic. Brand is going to be my main support when I play support to recover my mental and everything. Brand. If we need a tank, probably Leona. And I'm kind of favoring Leona even over Alistar. And people know I really like Alistar. I just think Leona is really good. And my Leona seems to be pretty good anyway. And then we might play the occasional, like, I don't know, because they're already in my champion pool in mid. We might occasionally pull out the odd Velkoz support or something. But Brand, I think, is going to be the primary one. And that's mainly it. Like, maybe we'll pull out a hook champion like Blitzcrank. I do like playing Blitzcrank. My Blitzcrank is pretty good. And that, again, is just going to be a situational thing. If the enemy team is full of squishies and it's a free pick, then maybe I'll bring out Blitzcrank. But primarily, Brand is going to be my primary support. So I would say expect Brand videos in upcoming, but then Leona's going to be my main tank. And again, I'm not having an Enchanter support because I don't play Enchanter supports. And then finally, because I'm not going to give you guys AD carries because there's no point, jungle. So what would bring me back properly to jungle would be Lee Sin. I just don't think he's very good right now. I played Lee Sin for many years. My Lee used to be very good, but I just don't think he's in a great place. So Lee Sin would bring me back a bit more, that maybe, you know, jungling would go above me even queuing as support if Lee was in a good place. But right now, it's probably, like, I don't even know. Like, I haven't thought much into jungle because it's been just so low priority on my champion pool, if I'm completely honest. But, like, I enjoyed playing Sedge, so maybe Sejuani. Elise is always around for my AP pick. And that's, I don't know, that's about it. I really haven't put much thought into jungling because, again, support at the moment is higher priority than jungle for me. And that just says a lot. I just don't like jungling anymore. But that is it. That is overall my champion pool. Obviously worth knowing, this is going to change. I'm, again, a player that gets bored quite easily. So there will be a day that I'm playing mid. I'm like, I just feel like playing an Orianna game. And then I'll play an Orianna game. And maybe Orianna will come into the champion pool. But that is, in essence, the champions I'm going to play. Some people may ask, like, what about Fizz? You like playing Fizz? Again, it's a maybe. The reason why I'm not straight into Fizz, or like you'll notice that either, you know, none of the assassins, you know, you're not playing Echo or Katarina. I don't love those champions. They annoy me. And because I also will say a lot of them are, I think, way too strong. Like, Anivia is really strong, but I think she'll just be toned down a bit. For me, Katarina needs a insanely big nerf. So I'm expecting those type of champions to just be nerfed out of being viable pretty soon. That's what I'm expecting. Whether Riot do it or not, I don't know. But I wouldn't want to main something that I'm expecting it to become really bad in the next few weeks. And that's what I'm expecting with things like Katarina and stuff like that. So that's why. And again, I'm not a big Katarina player anyway, obviously, but yeah, that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And again, I'm sure the champion pool will change. Obviously, I enjoyed playing Gragas top recently, and I didn't include that. So I'm sure we'll kind of add to it and kind of take away here or there. But that's fundamentally what I'm going to be playing in the early game, early season of Season 11. So expect those videos. And also, just a complete point that I have to make. Obviously, I'm known for variety on this channel. But I'm going to tell you right now, the beginning of Season 11, there isn't going to be much variety. I'm going try-hard mode to just climb as quick as I can to take the season serious again. So there will be not much variety at the beginning of the season. For a champion pool, my champion pool is still quite big compared to the average league player in higher rating. But I'm narrowing it compared to what I normally do because I'm really wanting to take Season 11 serious again. When I say that, Diamond 1 is where I want to be just on average. Like, oh, where's Huz? Diamond 1. But if I'm on like a really like boof, I'm tryharding Master. I want to hit Master again. You know, I'm not going to beat around the bush. That's what I want to get as a solo player, not duo. You know, maybe I'll duo throughout the season here or there, but I want to achieve it again as a solo player. For me, that is what makes a really good player. But anyway, that is going to be it. If you guys enjoyed, throw a like on the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you're going to play as well. And I will see you guys very soon. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.